loose and fly. No one could save me but you. It's strange what this I make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I meet somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love.
Hi, this is John Cullen. Welcome to Bedtime Stories. In this episode, I'm going to be reading from The Independent in the UK. The title of the story is American Scientists Controversially Recreate Deadly Spanish Flu Virus. And this story or article was written by Steve Connor, and it was published Wednesday, the 11th of June in 2014. The extinct influenza virus that caused the worst flu pandemic in history has been recreated from fragments of avian flu found in wild ducks in a controversial experiment to show how easy it would be for the deadly flu strain to reemerge today. Scientists said the study involved infecting laboratory ferrets with close copies of the 1918 virus, which was responsible for the Spanish flu pandemic that killed an estimated 50 million people, to see how easy it can be transmitted in the best animal model of the human disease. But other researchers have denounced the research as foolhardy and dangerous. Critics said that any benefits of the attempts to recreate 1918-like flu viruses from existing avian flu strains do not justify the catastrophic risks if such a genetically engineered virus were to escape, either deliberately or accidentally from the laboratory and cause a deadly influenza pandemic. However, Professor Yoshihiro Kawaoka of the University of Wisconsin-Madison dismissed the criticisms of his research, saying that it is necessary for the development of influenza vaccines and other countermeasures designed to minimize the risks of a future flu pandemic. These critics fail to appreciate the precautions and safeguards built into our work, the regulation, review, and oversight these studies receive. The risks of conducting this research are not ignored, but they can be effectively managed and mitigated, Professor Kawaoka said. We know studies like ours advance the field and help those responsible for making decisions about surveillance and pandemic preparedness to base decisions on scientific fact rather than conjecture. Therefore, our research provides important benefits that cannot be achieved by other means, he said in an email to The Independent. The study, which was carried out in a secure laboratory with the second highest biosafety level, that would be BSL-3, showed that all the necessary ingredients exist in the wild population of bird flu viruses for the emergence of a virus similar to the deadly 1918 flu strain. Because avian influenza viruses in nature require only a few changes to adapt to humans and cause a pandemic, it is important to understand the mechanisms involved in adaptation and identify the key mutations so we can be better prepared, Professor Kawaoka said. The point of the study was to assess the risk of avian viruses currently circulating in nature. We found genes in avian influenza viruses quite closely related to the 1918 virus, and to evaluate the pandemic potential should such a 1918-like virus emerge, identified changes that enabled it to transmit in ferrets, he said. The 1918 virus was recreated from 8 genes found in avian flu viruses isolated from populations of wild ducks. Using a technique known as reverse genetics, the scientists rebuilt the entire virus so that it was 97% identical to the 1918 strain, known from viruses recovered from frozen corpses, according to the study published in the journal Cell, Host, and Microbe. Tests on ferrets showed that the virus was still able to cause flu-like symptoms. When it was further mutated at just 7 points, the virus spread easily from one animal to another, indicating that it could cause a pandemic in the human population. Professor Kawaoka has already come under fire for carrying out previous studies to enhance the transmissibility of the deadly H5N1 strain of avian flu, which is highly lethal to humans, but does not pass easily from one person to another, by repeatedly exposing ferrets to the engineered virus. Like many of the recent gain-of-function studies, this one created a novel virus that is likely both transmissible and virulent in humans, said Mark Lipsitch, professor of epidemiology at Harvard University. This is a risky activity, even in the safest labs. Scientists should not take such risks without strong evidence that the work could save lives, which this study does not provide, Professor Lipsitch said. Robert Coulter, professor of microbiology at Harvard Medical School, said, "The scientists doing this work are so immersed in their own self-aggrandizement. They've become completely blind to the irresponsibility of their acts. Their arguments in favor of such work, i.e., increasability for surveillance, remain as weak as ever." Simon Wayne Hobson, a virologist at the Pasteur Institute in Paris, said, "The work doesn't offer us much. The risk of escape is small, but non-zero. I do not see such benefits, so on balance, we are worse off." That was American Scientist Controversial Recreate Deadly Spanish Flu Virus by Steve Connor at The Independent. I'm going to read a small little piece before we wrap this up as sort of a postscript. And this is something that was written by Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil is a fellow at Google. And as a fellow at Google, he's very, very well respected for a number of reasons. Ray Kurzweil invented the Braille reading machine, a whole number of different... In fact, Ray Kurzweil is the guy who invented the scanner that's on top of every copy machine. So if you have a copy machine or you've used a copy machine, the scanner part of it with the glass and the light, Ray Kurzweil invented that and patented that. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy. And he's currently a fellow at Google. He invented the Kurzweil line of synthesizers, which are very popular. And I want to read a quote from an article called Recipe for Destruction. And this was in the New York Times, and you guys can pull this up. Recipe for Destruction, the New York Times. It was published October 17th, 2005. And I'm going to just read a quick excerpt from Ray Kurzweil. and Bill Joy. Bill Joy put his name to this, and Bill Joy was one of the founders of Sun Microsystems. This publishing the genome on GenBank is extremely foolish. The genome is essentially the design of a weapon of mass destruction. We urgently need international agreements by scientific organizations to limit such publications, and an international dialogue on the best approach to preventing recipes for weapons of mass destruction from falling into the wrong hands. Ray Kurzweil, inventor, Google Fellow, and Bill Joy, founder, Sun Microsystems. This has been Bedtime Stories. I'm John Cullen. Thanks for joining.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I met somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love without you. What a wicked game you play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say, you never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. And I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love without you. Without you. The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love without you. Without you.